Hello viewers, myself is Dr. Neeta and you are watching my channel Learn Literature with Dr. Neeta. So let us begin today's topic. Hello dear students, today we would learn about miracle and mystery plays. So let us begin. These miracle and mystery plays developed during Middle Ages. In European history, Middle Ages are from 5th to 15th century. And along with mystery and miracle, another form of play also developed and they were known as the morality plays. But today we would discuss about miracle and mystery plays. So now see. Miracle and mystery plays. In England, the term miracle and mystery were used interchangeably for the dramatization of a story from the Bible or the life of a saint. So you should understand this thing that in England these two terms are not at all considered to be different. Rather, they are used interchangeably and they are the story from the Bible or they are the story related to the life of a saint. But the difference was there in France, where miracle stood for dramatization of the life of a saint, while mystery for the dramatization of the story from the Bible. This is the difference. But as far as the modern criticism is concerned, it favors the use of miracle as a common term for any of these medieval dramas. Either it is mystery or it is miracle, but according to modern criticism, it is considered to be a miracle play. The difference was there only in France. Miracle play is also called saints play. Why? Because they depict exceptional involvement of saints, especially Saint Nicholas or Saint Mary, into the lives of ordinary people. It means the stories of Saint Nicholas and Saint Mary are told in these saints play. Mystery plays are focused on the representation of stories from the Bible in churches. Miracle plays were popular in England from 12th to 16th century, reaching its height during the 15th century. So it is clear that during 15th century they became very popular. And now come to the subject matter of the miracle or the mystery plays. The stories were taken from the Old and New Testament of Bible, or the stories were taken from the legendary stories of saints and of Virgin Mary. Apart from that, another story was there of Christ, and it was related to his crucifixion or it was related to his resurrection. Resurrection means rising of Christ from the dead. One of the famous mystery plays is the Second Shepherd's Play. It is the story of two shepherds, Paul and Jiv, and a boy, Daw, who works for them. And this story belongs to the time of birth of the Christ in Bethlehem. So this is a famous mystery play. But what happened later on? The scenes were also inserted that were not from the Bible. Some scenes were included in this drama that were not from the Bible. Later on it was done and the play was elaborated further. Medieval miracle plays were revived in the late 19th and early 20th centuries because of people's fascination towards a religious theme in symbolist theatre and dramaturgy. These plays revived, though they came to an end during 15th century, and after that Renaissance drama was there, Renaissance plays were there, but they were revived in late 19th and early 20th century because people were attracted towards the religious theme and religious themes were involved in these plays, and they were also interested in symbolist theatre. So now we would see the development of these plays. how they came into existence in this form that we call them mystery and miracle. So through this picture I would make you everything clear. So first see sacred services. Sacred services in church. They were inside the church. And during 5th century, what happened? The stories from Bible or the stories related to saints' life were presented during the sacred services. How they were presented? They were presented through trope or they were presented through tablets. And now what is trope and what is tablets? Now first understand trope. Trope was either a text in the form of a dialogue in a dramatized manner. It means some of the dialogues were taken from the stories or from the saints' life and they were dramatized by clergies themselves and they were presented before the people who were visiting the churches. One thing you should keep in mind that the sacred services at that time and the language of the church was Latin, and it was very difficult for the illiterate people to understand this language. That is why the need of dramatization of some scenes or some dialogues were considered to be important so that the idea may be communicated to them easily. And that is why the drama itself was used as a tool to communicate the principles of Christian religion to the largely illiterate audience. So through the trope, these stories related to the life of saints and related to Bible were made clear to the people because they were in the form of drama. And now what were the tablets? Tablets were basically the living picture or the static scene having one or more actor, but these actors remain stationary and silent, but they are always in costumes or with a prop, and the all around scenery was also according to the scene which has been depicted in that tablets. In fact, you may compare these tablets with current days posters. The posters are on papers, but as the scene is depicted in a poster, similarly such kind of scene was depicted inside the church where the actors in their proper dresses and actors with their props were standing static. They were not speaking anything, but they are trying to project the picture which has been just narrated by the clergies there. So in that manner, by creating that scene, the idea regarding that scene was communicated to the audience. So through trope and tablets, these stories of Bible and saints' life were made clear to the illiterate audience during the sacred service. And everything, whether the dialogue writing was concerned or the acting was concerned, everything was done by the clergies. So the drama was inside the church and it was with the will of the clergies that it was moving forward. Later on, what happened? Up to 12th century, it became the liturgical drama. And now what is this liturgical drama? This is short play, sometimes acted and at other times sung. But the Latin was used even in these short plays. Initially, these plays were in the form of static scenes like tablets or the living pictures, or they were in the form of short dialogues or in the form of some metrical composition. But gradually from 5th to 12th century, what happened? It has converted into a short play which was known as liturgical drama. And the Latin was the language of these liturgical drama, and it was again creating a difficulty for the people to understand it. Though it was supplemented with music and dialogues, everything, but still it was difficult for people to understand it. What happened? gradually the drama moved outside the church. After 12th century, it moved outside the church, and people from outside also became important in them. The actors were taken from outside, the stories were molded according to the taste of the people, and in place of Latin, English began to be used as the language of communication, and that is why they established themselves as the mystery or miracle plays. So I think you are able to understand how from the short dialogues it is getting converted into the long mystery and miracle plays. And now see what was the purpose and development of these drama. Some of the things I have mentioned in the previous slide. These plays were initially acted within the church with a purpose to present a living picture, the part of the Bible for those to whom Latin of liturgy was obscure. It means it was initially acted in the church through the living picture or through the dialogues, and Latin was difficult, that is why this process was done. As I told you earlier, these plays had the formal beginning with Latin liturgical enactments. Liturgical enactments were done. Initially, clergies and other members of the church created and performed these plays. The number of actors necessary for each play varied, but was usually about 5 to 10. People often played more than one role because number of actors were limited. That is why multiple roles were played by a single actor. During performance, they usually wore their service vestment. Service vestment means the dress that was worn at the time of service, at the time of worship, at the time of ceremony, or robes, as the plays were considered to be the part of worship services. So the dresses were according to the church, and as they were put during the worship services, so that because drama was considered to be the part of worship. It is believed that by 1200 AD, these plays began to be performed outside the church, as I told you, due to increasing number of people. What was the reason? The number of people increased in audience, and the complexity of sets. The sets that were sets of the plays that were there, they were gradually becoming complex, and the material required for them was more, and it cannot be arranged within the church. That is why they were played outside the church. At the initial level, the control of church was there even when they were outside, but gradually the control loosened. The performance began to be arranged on wagons called pageants and performed by the members of guilds and craftsmen instead of members of the church. This was the basic difference. When they came outside, they began to be arranged on wagons. They were a kind of carriages. They were called pageants, and they were performed by the members of guild, the group of people who were arranging all the things. They were called the members of the guild. They were performing them, and the actors, craftsmen means actors outside the church, were called to play the different roles. So it means the power of church was gradually diminishing. Latin was replaced by English as the medium of expression. When Latin was there, it was the monopoly of clergies. When it was replaced by English, then everyone could easily speak English, and that is why anyone can play the role. Purpose also changed, and gradually they became less religious and more secular, and began to be performed in town festival by 13th century. So gradually the religious element was abolishing, and they were becoming more secular, and they began to be, and the purpose was entertainment. Previously the purpose was moral, religious. Now it was entertainment. That is why they began to be performed in town festivals. More elaborate costume began to be used as they had become the part of public domain. Now when they were played in the public, then to attract public, Costumes should be elaborate, costumes should be costly. So the more importance was given to costumes, more importance was given to the outward appearance of the things. While when they were in the church, the purpose was moral, so only purpose was to teach the people, but now the purpose was also to entertain the people. Regular clothes were used with some special accessories with a purpose to make the role or plot clearer. Even if the dresses were not available or they were unable to get those dresses, some accessories were used so that the person may come to know about the character, about the situation, about the plot. In England, these plays were banned by Henry VIII in the mid 16th century, and I told you the reason was that they were failing in their purpose. The purpose was merely moral, but now it was entertainment. The element of vulgarity also included in them, and that is why it was thought, and some politics also involved. The themes were getting political, and that is why they were banned by Henry VIII in the mid 16th century. Only 2 English plays survive, and they are Conversion of Saint Paul and Mary Magdalene, and that is why they are banned in mid 16th century. One more thing you should understand, and these are the cycle plays. By the 14th century, these plays began to be performed in a cycle. Cycle means the sequence of episode, one after the another, that dramatize history of Christian salvation from creation to judgment. So whole of the history of Christian religion from the creation to judgment was created, and these plays were began to be performed in cycle. It means they were in different episodes, one episode after the another. Each episode was performed in public on movable stage equipped with wheels at one public square and drawn on to its next performance at another, while a subsequent stage succeeded it. So this was the case that movable stage was there. It was they were performed on the carriages, and these carriages were having the wheels, so the stage can be moved easily from one place to another, and one episode was played at one place, and after that the carriage moved to another place and another episode was played on the another place. And in this manner it was a kind of cycle, it was a kind of chain, and that is why they are called the cycle plays. Each episode expressed its own individual lesson, however they were meant to fit together as a whole to form the history of the world. So it is always kept in mind that if someone is seeing only one episode, he should get its own lesson, he should be able to understand its own story. So they were prepared in that manner that even if someone is seeing only a single episode, he can easily understand the message of that episode. However, they were also fitted together in a way that they were making as a whole, so that they can give an idea about the history of Christian religion. Some of the plays were named after the towns in which they were performed. The most significant English cycle is York Plays, the longest, containing 48 plays. These York Plays is the combination of 48 episodes or the plays, and this is the longest English cycle, and it was played in York. And similarly, Wakefield cycle, Chester cycle, N-Town cycle are also very famous. So these are performed in the way of cycle or the episode, that is why they are called the cycle play. You should keep in the mind the longest cycle play, the York play. As these plays began to be performed outside the church, they gradually lost their religious significance and became more entertainment oriented, therefore had to meet church disapprobation. As I told you earlier that as the purpose was failing, they were not providing moral education to the audience, as they became more entertainment oriented, and the result of this was that church disapproved such kind of plays, and ultimately during mid 16th century they were banned by king. And I hope you would be able to understand the miracle and mystery plays. So thanks for patience listening.
Thank you.